welcome to another geometry video lesson. I'm going to ask you to please pause the video, copy this down, and once you're done, you can press play to continue. Okay, now that you've written that down, this is your introduction to writing the equations of circles. Okay, so the standard form equation of a circle is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals the radius squared, where h is the center, hk is the center of the circle, so as you can see that's the center, and r represents the radius. And the radius is the distance from the center to any point on the circle, so you can rotate this radius and it's going to be the same distance. Okay, so that's the brief introduction. Now let me go into one example right away. So this one is asking what is the center and radius of, this is a circle of course, x minus 3 squared plus y plus 1 squared equals 36. Okay, so this one here, what we do is, first of all, notice the formula says x minus h, so we see that this one is already set up for us. Okay, so I'm just going to bring this down, x minus 3 squared plus, and I'm going to change this one because this is saying plus 1. So that means that we have minus, and in order to make this into a positive, that implies that the 1 has to be a negative. Okay, so then that equals 36. Okay, so now we should be able to see which is our h value and our k value. So h, this is going to be h, and this is going to be k. Okay, now to find the radius, so let me just write down the center for now. We'll get to the radius in a moment. So the center of this circle is going to be, h is 3, and and k is a negative 1. Okay, now to find the radius, that's going to be equal to hold on. Yeah, I'm sorry. So to find the radius, you take the square root of 36, and that's going to give you the radius, and we know that this is equal to 6. So the center of the circle has coordinates of 3 and negative 1, and the radius is positive 6. Okay, so that's how you find the center, the coordinates of the center and the radius of a circle. All right, let's go on to the next example. Okay, so I have 3 examples here, and I don't know if you want to pause the video, copy those examples, and then press play to continue. So in this case, we're being asked to write the equations of the following 3 circles. We have one that has a center of negative 1 and 4, so we know this is going to be h and this is going to be k. Okay, and the radius is 4. So again, we need to write the equation of those circles in standard form. So I'm going to start doing that right away. So let's see. So I know the formula is x minus h. So this will be x minus, but notice h is negative. Okay, so x minus a negative 1 squared plus y minus, that's a 4, so I don't have to worry about a negative here, square, and then this equals 4, and notice the radius has to be square according to the formula, so then I'm going to write that down, so 4 square. So I'm going to simplify this. We know that this turns into a positive, so this is x plus 1 square plus y minus 4 square, and 4 squared is 16. So this is the equation of a circle with the given center and the given radius. Okay, so on to the next example. On the next example, we have the center 0, 0, which means this is the origin. So the center of the circle is right at the origin, and the radius is 5. So this one is going to be simpler to do. So the equation is going to be x minus 0 square plus y minus 0 square equals 5 square. But we know that x minus 0, that's going to be just x, so it's going to be x square, and same thing happens here, y square equals 5 squared, that's 25. So this is the standard form equation of a circle with the radius of 5 and the center at the origin. Okay, now the next example we see that this has a center at -4 and -5. So this one is going to be x. The formula says minus, but this one is negative, so minus a -4 square plus y minus, this one is a -5 square, equals the square root of 11, and we got to take the square. Okay, so x minus a -4, we have a negative in front of a negative. That makes it, or turns it into a positive. So this is x plus 4 square plus y. Same thing happens here, y plus 5 square. And when you take the square of the square root, we mentioned this before, the square root and the square cancel each other, so this is 11. Okay, so the standard form equation of this one is just this. And we're finished with this example. All right, on the next problem. Okay, this one is the one that's going to take me some time to get through it. Okay, so just bear with me. Okay, and I apologize if this video gets longer than the usual time I take to make a video lesson. Okay, because there's much more to explain here, and this is something that you haven't seen before. Okay, so this is your introduction to circles, and you will see this again. Writing the equation of circles, given the center and the radius in algebra, in your next algebra course. All right, so this one is saying, given the center and point on the circle, write the equation. Okay, so the center is 1 and 4. So I'm going to label this, I'll label it in a moment. Okay, I'll just do it here, H, K. So we know that's the center. And the point is 5 and -2. See, the challenge here is that we don't know the radius. Okay, so it's not as simple as the previous 4 problems. So in this case, we're given the center, so we have HK, but we don't know the radius. And I'm going to bring back something that we learned in the classroom during the first semester. Okay, so this is going to be a 2-step problem. So this is 2 steps. Okay, step number 1, I'm going to list that step. We need to find the length of the radius. Okay, and for this, I'm going to use the distance formula with distance formula. Okay, so I'm going to write the formula that says, since I'm trying to find the radius is equal to the square root of the distance formula is x sub 2 minus x sub 1 square plus y sub 2 minus y sub 1 square. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to label x1, y1, and x2 and y2. So I'm going to call this one my x1, y1. This will be my x2 and y2. Don't forget, I mentioned at the beginning of the video lesson that the radius is any point, any distance from the center of the circle to a point on the circle. Okay, so this, if we connect these 2 points, that's going to create the radius of the circle. So then I'm going to substitute those values into this formula. So I have my x2 value is 5. Okay, formula says subtract x1. X1 is a positive 1. And then take the square. And next is the y2 value, that's a -2, minus the y1 value, that's a 4, and then take the square. But if we simplify this, we find that this is 4 square plus this is -6 square. Okay, so 4 times 4, that gives us 16, and -6 times -6, that's positive 36. And when we combined those 2 values, we end up with 52. So the radius is the square root of 52. Now comes the second step. So on the second step, we are going to write the equation. Okay, so write the equation. First step was find the length of the radius with the distance formula. Now we're ready to write the equation. So remember I said I marked h and k, and now we know r. So to write the equation in standard form, so we have, I'm just going to restate the formula. So x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. Okay, so we know h, so this is going to be x, that's a positive 1, so minus 1 square plus y minus k, so this will be y minus 4 square equals, the radius is 50, the square root of 52. Okay, but then this says that we got to take the square, so we take the square of the square root of 52. So I'm going to write the final answer for this problem here. So x minus 1 squared plus y minus 4 squared equals 52. And this is the equation in standard form of that problem. Okay, so if you need to rewind the video and watch this again until this makes sense to you, go ahead and do so. But if you have any questions also, you can send me a text message, a remind message, or you can send me an email, whatever is more convenient for you. Okay, don't forget I'm just a message away to help you. All right, until the next time, bye-bye.